Alright, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course, we will unpause and then repause. Orchid Finance. This is the second time in history that Hitler was elected to high office. Yeah, we'll be talking about the Namibian Adolf Hitler. That's literally his name. Mentioned it briefly the other day, but I had to look more into the story. He's a local council member, actually, in Namibia. And his name is quite literally Adolf Hitler. It appears that they're claiming that his dad, when naming him, didn't know the ramifications. Bullshit. But it's a really, really funny story. That will be one of the mains. We're going to give updates on the investigation with regards to the guard shooting, actually, in D.C. That gets weirder and weirder and weirder. And the liberals got completely flanked on the issue because at first they said they had shots of, he's in a stretcher because he did get shot by one of the guardsmen. They said, well, he doesn't look ethnic. He doesn't look like a migrant to me. Oh boy, did you reveal your internal ethnocentrism. It's a really funny story. America needs a reset. Lunch is a good first step. I happen to agree. I love debating politics at the Thanksgiving table. But then again, I do not believe in shafting people for their political views. I'm friends with fucking literal communists, actually. It doesn't matter. It means nothing to me. And yeah, I have disagreements with you. Oh my god, it's such a terrible sin. And also, we've got really, really fascinating science news today. This is probably my favorite, but I know that most people tune in for the politics and the current events. Scientists find evidence that an asteroid contains tryptophan. This is an amino acid present in Turkey, which is absolutely hysterical given the timing of the article. I have a feeling this is why they released it now. An asteroid that was probed back 5 years ago and delivered back to Earth about 2 years ago. Was given, samples were given to a handful of eminent scientists. They found tryptophan on an asteroid. This is way, way more complex and way, way more interesting than most people are going to find it. I don't know. I like science news. I find it fascinating. It's also of extreme import. If an asteroid has fucking tryptophan on it, amino acids, the likelihood of life out there is considerably higher if an asteroid, of all places, is where you're finding it. Personally, I think that this happens all the time. So yeah, we're going to be talking about asteroids and assholes and stuff like that, like we usually do. Cooking Inferno. Reminder, Namibia rose out of German Southwest Africa. Yes, indeed. Lots of Germans still there, and major staging ground along with Rhodesia for Afrikaners fighting against the rise of the communists in South Africa. Yeah, I know. I would like to get Anton's input into that, actually. Yeah, hail Rhodesia. They tried. They did a good job, by the way, while, they were still alive. Aaron's Sticks, my best friend, was the third in charge of the Afghanistan government before the Taliban takeover. We're looking into this pure on a deeper level. I'll let you know what we find out. Definitely, if you actually have connections to the Afghan government or former Afghan government, please, yes, do DM me on Twitter. Play the game. Never forget. Yeah, never forget that Joe Biden fucked up Afghanistan real bad. Because he's a loser. Lemon Curd Zero. Panspermia is why I never let men do my dishes. Huh. I actually am very good at cleaning dishes myself. Normally, my mother has my father doing the dishes. I don't know why. I do them better. I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, we got a lot of news to cover. I'm a little bit low energy today, and also it's Black Friday, so I don't expect as many people to tune in as normal. I can already see it's going to be a lower than normal audience for a reason. People are out shopping right now. Yeah, go do your Christmas shopping and stuff like that. Or you can just tune into Sticks, Just saying. Dylan Roth, but what do you clean them with? Well, you just use dish soap and you have to scrub them real good with a sponge. It's not difficult. You're basically being a human dishwasher. Non-etal 9534. Yes, this is live. We are indeed live. There's probably like a 5-second delay or something like that, but otherwise, you know. Black Fatigue Friday. Yeah, I know. You should just be watching this live stream instead of going out and shopping for materialistic bullshit that people generally aren't going to like anyway. There's a reason why after Christmas, so many people go to the returns section. This is why I only give people money for Christmas. I never give any other form of gift unless I know that it's something specifically that they are going to enjoy. Shong Mutt Ace. On the three guys. Cool. Oh, Anton's here. Whenever King of Biltong arrives, we are allowed to take a taste of biltong. Which makes my day. Too salty, he will say. This one's almost empty, actually. I should probably keep it off to the side. Yeah, this is one of the highlights of my day, is the ability to just dip my finger in the biltong. Swamp Donkey. Trump's non-action after Kirk and all the developments afterward are a dangerous path. He keeps provoking the left and does nothing as they become bolder. The left wins again. They will go DEFCON 1. Yeah, that is one problem with the Trump administration. He's not being forceful enough. The liberals say, oh my God, he's going to take over, become dictator. No, exactly the opposite is the case. Unfortunately, Donald Trump's not doing enough, actually, in some cases. Although, we have to give him credit for immigration, things related to that, the border, and certain foreign policy aspects. On those, I give him an A+. On certain other issues, like he hasn't addressed 230, he hasn't addressed an Internet Bill of Rights, which is important personally to me as a constituent, among other things. But he's doing the best that he can with a very, very limited amount of support from the House Republicans. So I will give him credit. He's not the one centrally responsible for this. It's like when Marjorie Taylor Greene decided to resign. She says, oh, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Then she includes like one small paragraph actually laying the blame at the feet of Speaker Mike Johnson, who really is the one that's responsible. He's the one tabling the fucking bills. Well, I mean, if the bill gets tabled, if it never gets voted on or anything like that, what the fuck is Trump supposed to do? He never gets a chance to sign it. Why don't you lay the blame at the proper feet? Just saying. Cooking Inferno Sticks, ask Anton about what I just said. Yes, Anton, we need your views on Rhodesia and the resistance against the communists that took over South Africa, actually. Because, I mean, you would know more than most. Shung Manes, Sticks, tell these other clankers to listen to my Rumble exclusive song called Richer, featuring Lizthu. I'll look it up right now. Don't worry, I'll listen to it. That sounds pretty cool. Featuring Lizthu and Young Mutt, I believe. Okay. I'm assuming it's the Rumble variant that you're talking by Unholy Trinity. That's presumptively your channel. Okay. I'll look that up. Again, today is a fairly informal day. We do have news to cover, but it's Black Friday. It's right after Thanksgiving. A lot of people are probably hung over, so we're going to try to find it. Can you please, Shong, can you please link me directly the link, because I'm not finding it. I can see a channel that I think might be yours, but I'm not 100% sure. And I'm not seeing the actual video that you were marking on there. So I might be on the wrong channel. So please just send that to me on Twitter DM. I'll take a look at it. Swamp Donkey. Yes, the GOP is an unserious party. Real change needs to come at state level. Agreed. Categorize Antifa as a gang, send gang units after them, create state-level RICO, and go after the financiers. I agree with everything that you're saying there, yeah. You are fundamentally correct, sir. Sell Cole Olds. Boof, right. Also, Mod Bobby. Yeah, I know, that would be so funny to get Bobby Bobbinson as a mod. He'd probably rip apart the chat, though. Ban everyone or something. Yeah. Whenever Anton's here, it's always time for Bovrat. Especially one adulterated with the Chinese 5 spices. It mixes perfectly. You wouldn't believe it. Just fucking try it. Just trust me on this one. The Unholy Trinity is the band I manage. It has the girl with the old English shirt. I'm banned off Twitter. I mentioned it yesterday. Keck. Yeah, I'll go back to the channel. The problem is I'm not seeing that particular video there. Just link me the actual video wherever you've uploaded, because I'm only seeing... Oh, okay, I see it. Never mind. I'm stupid. Okay. Yeah, the chick with the big tits. Drinking the malt liquor. The old English. See, here's some booty for the Black Friday sales, matey. Yeah, for Christmas, basically, I'm not doing anything other than I want to cook a boiled dinner. I've also got a surprise Christmas tree. It's going to be a surprise to some people anyway. Let's get to our sponsors before we get to the rest of the news, because really, the main news of the day is basically we found out that it was actually an Afghan migrant, which probably doesn't surprise any of you, but apparently surprised a lot of people, that was responsible for the shooting in Washington, D.C. We'll get to that briefly, I suppose. Yes, it was indeed an Afghan migrant whose name sounds stereotypical, so I'm not even going to bother uttering it. And he drove several thousand miles in order to kill a couple of guardsmen and got within, yards of the White House, basically. This was because he was in the country under a Biden-era program resulting from the collapse of Afghanistan that was, again, created by Joe Biden. It looks like somebody wanted a shot to be taken, yet again. Technically, I suppose we could say this is the 4th assassination attempt on Donald Trump, actually. But, it happens all the time. It's not exactly a surprise. At some point, somebody will probably get through, and then all hell will break loose, which is going to be very, very unfortunate for our nation. The hope is that he wisely decides to surround himself with a couple of platoons of Marines or something. Because I know that open sedition and treason is being encouraged among U.S. troops. I would like to believe that the Marines, at the very least, probably are not going to listen to that stupid message. Surround yourself with a couple platoons of Marines. Don't even bother arming them. Once they punch the dude to death, they'll probably just eat him. So, you're like, hey, yeah. You mean I can eat something other than this MRE? That sounds good. His face looks fairly tasty, once you burn the beard off and stuff. Just get the Marines in there. They'll take care of it. They'll keep Trump safe. Or just use a bunch of Democratic politicians as meat shields. That would be even funnier. Robert Manley, 2687, sent $25. No comment. Thank you very much anyway. You can leave a comment, and I will read it out on live stream. I can also do this as William Shatner. I can also do it as Bernie Sanders if you're into that. That would be funny. Start doing impressions, and people pay a fee, and then you'll do impressions and read out scripts and stuff. That'd be funny. Cooking Inferno. Sticks, interested, and you can look it up. The Savages' uprising against the Germans and now Namibia was one of the seminal events in history. Göring, Himmler, and Heydrich took at planning Holocaust. True. Yeah, Namibia is a weird country in some ways. Let's put it that way. We got to get to our sponsors in a minute. I'll get to this just a sec. Deus Flex. Unfortunately for the DC incident, one elephant in the room is that Sarah Beckstrom was clearly targeted first because she was female and therefore easier to overpower. Letting them into combat and police duties was a mistake. There are some females out there that kick ass. Admittedly, I've known some of them. But, generally speaking, men are better at battle. They're better at combat. It's just the way that it is. People that are pretending otherwise, they're just deluding themselves. Let's get to our sponsors. I realize there are some other super chats. I will get to them. Do not worry. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills. That's what I'm talking about. They will increase your vitality. They are good for you. In fact, I'm going to have another one right now. I think this is actually the third one I've taken today. There's a reason why my energy level has increased, notably. That's why I take them. Cultivated Mind can get you radiant energy, brain 2, and so forth. They've also got Doggy Dose. I call it Doggo Dose. And the doggy fucking loved that. That bag didn't last long. Dog sitting there staring at the bag with a forlorn look in its eyes. Please give me more. It's like, what do you expect of me? What the fuck do you want from me? Says Billy Corgan. Secondly, we've got BiltonUSA.com. Of course, the land of Anton's imports and lots of meat. Wagyu, Angus, Cabanassi, venison, bison. Name it, he's probably got it. He's probably going to start selling like iguana meat at some point. Which probably would be good. I wonder if you could turn that into Bilton. Probably. And also, Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts are available as well. Now, you take the sticks of meat, and you shove them in your pocket and you go hiking. The flaked, the shredded meat, that's better for like soups or an additive to a stir fry or something like that. Or you can just eat it on its own. It's all good. And then third and finally, we have jamandbean.com. That is jamnbean.com, where you can get Clanker coffee. And you should. Because it's tasty. It smells good, it tastes good, and it gives you that caffeine boost. What more do you ask for in a coffee? You know, other than not being terribly bitter and acidic, which most coffee is. This one is perfectly balanced medium roast. There are other coffees available there as well, Costa Rica blend and so forth, those are good, and also a very, very large variety of teas. Do you not like caffeine? That's fine. Get a green tea. If you want a little bit of caffeine, I suggest the Yunnan Jig. Just saying. So yeah, those are our sponsors. Have a really, really good time talking about again, I'm never going to pitch anything to you that I myself am not using. I am to get paid for it sometimes. But, yeah. Yeah, Anton does it best if you want a chunk of meat. Because, I think he prepares... Anton, don't you prepare it pretty much all yourself, too? I know that you've got employees, but, you seem to enjoy carving it up on your own, so... Yeah, Anton is a pretty cool dude. Need to get my ass down to Texas at some point. Spooky. Yeah, but please don't just spam. You know, if you're gonna spam, that's fine. But it has to be talented. I like to control myself. And I don't like banning or even muting people. Funky Puppet. Dems are saying Trump granted shooter asylum. Yeah, no, it was under a Biden-era program, actually. Yeah, he came in under a Biden-era program. He was never properly vetted. Tomes Esquire. Love your vids, but issue with the pirate nonsense is I can no longer credibly share your stuff because people dismiss it before even watching due to the outfit. Well, if they're ignorant, then you should find other people to talk to. Sorry. I'm a goonie. I dress as I want. I'm not exactly... Okay, now Bowser head teacher is spelling out Hitler, I believe. Yep. Yeah, Hitler. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the immature one though. Virgil Walker just got in. Did you guys talk about the immigration pause by Trump? Haven't got much details on it yet. I don't have any details on that. I didn't see it. I don't know. I'm gonna look that up. I've got the docket is so long right now. I'm never gonna get to all of these news stories. So this is the Black Friday stream, I suppose. Everyone's hungover from Thanksgiving. They're high on turkey. We'll be talking about the tryptophan asteroid, actually, which is hysterical and totally not mimetic. Let me see. Sometimes I have to do this live. U.S. will pause migration from third world countries. Good. I have no problem with this. That makes sense. We've got so many people illegally in the country that makes sense. I'm sure that they will say that he's being bigoted until they realize some of those third world countries are technically white. Mick, 1415. I'm high on sticks. Good. Yeah, we should pause immigration from, well, pretty much everywhere. If you don't have a reason to be in the country, then we should be, keeping to our own. There are exceptions. You've got some American citizen, they've married somebody in another country. And maybe they have a kid who's dual citizenship. Okay, well, that's definitely an exception. The understanding is probably this is not related to cartel activity or something like that. Or somebody has come here illegally, but they fought in the military, they did something particularly notorious in a good way, and then, you sort of look the other way. That's fine. But there are millions of people in the country that are members of criminal organizations from abroad that, let's use the founders' litmus test. They would never have conceived of these people as being properly due citizenship. They wouldn't consider them members of a militia. They would never be allowed to vote. That's just the way that it is, my man. JD, Tarl. I'm also curious as to why the Dems are going to win in the midterms while their party is in the death throes. The GOP is redistricting, and the Supreme Court looks to overturn race redistricting. Yeah, historically speaking, the in-party tends to lose the House in the midterms anyway. That's only happened the other way a couple of times in the last 100 years. So it'd be historically abnormal. And the GOP is making stupid decisions because they're the GOP. So it doesn't really surprise me. Shung Manes Sticks is a crip. I'm a motherfucking... What the hell? Oh, I've got a cord on the floor. Sometimes that happens. My office setup is not the most sophisticated in the world. Politician named Adolf Hitler becomes focal point of local election campaign. By the way, that's humorous in nature. African politician Adolf Hitler, Unona, I'm assuming that it's Unona, says his father gave him that name without understanding its historical significance. You gotta be fucking kidding me. So basically you're doing the, we're from a third world nation, my dad didn't know who Adolf Hitler was. Bullshit. Everyone knows who Adolf Hitler is. It's like Alexander the Great or Jesus Christ. There are very few people who attain to the level of notoriety that Hitler did. Your father knew full well who he was naming his son after. It's humorous because he's black. So a black dude named Adolf Hitler is now holding political office. Liberals do not know how to respond. You didn't know who Adolf Hitler was. You just heard it in passing. Thought the name sounded cool and decided to give it to your son. Bullshit, my dude. Absolute bullshit. 0% possibility. This is an aside story. This is more for humor than for actual news purposes. You knew exactly what you were naming your son after. Don't fucking try to kid me. Shung Mon-Ace, Sticks is a motherfucking creep. When you went 3 jail, you got certified. Shout out from Long Beach, California. Yeah, I'm a hardcore motherfucker, let me tell you. If you can eat the food in... Who's fucking texting me? If you can eat the food in lockup when you're in New Orleans Parish, that does make you hardcore. You don't even have to shank a man. All you have to do is eat what they call food, and yeah, if you can deal with that, and jail conditions in the rest of the country must be posh by comparison. Very interesting life. Who's texting me? Just a second. We shall see. Okay. Nothing important. I was texting Sticks the whole time. Ketchuped candy corn. I can't wait until the candy corn meme goes the way of 10.2 and just disappears. Spoon Clank is the only meme that we need. Apache, you see gold and silver surging? Think the economy is on the brink of collapse, or do you think it is nothing to worry about like an AI collapse? I don't think there's going to be an AI collapse. It's advancing so rapidly that I don't think that it's a bubble at all. I think the rate of advancement that we're seeing, you're going from primitive image generation and basic queries to flat out, I mean, even just with Grok, you're going to video effects. Look at Occult Priestess's video, for example. That's partially AI generated. Those effects were impossible unless you wanted to spend significant amounts of money only 10 years ago. It's fantastic considering the rate of incline of this particular technology. As far as querying and stuff like that, Grok is now better than Google. I don't even use Google anymore. Normally, I ask Grok questions. Hey, Grok, what's the meaning of this word? Hey, Grok, what would happen in this scenario or something? I'm not trying to communicate with some alien entity or something like that, but as a search engine, it's superb, actually. I use it on a daily basis. It really helps with the workflow sometimes, too. You can have it round up news for you. I prefer to do that myself, but as an auxiliary, I suppose. Speaking of auxiliaries, I really want to play Napoleon Total War later. I love doing the Spanish Lakeside one, and it's real easy. I would love to record it sometime. Howitzers forward, charge the hill, you've got your flank covered, and then you've got your Jaegers or riflemen forward. It's pretty fun. And then the enemy just basically impales itself on a hail of bullets. Devray the Diamond. Hi, from South Africa. Let's go, mimetic psychedelic dentist. I love your channel, brother, and appreciate your wisdom in everything you do. I appreciate you too, and thank you very much. Yeah, South Africa is pretty cool. I'd love to see it someday. The problem is that, I mean, as we've seen, if you're white, there are some places that are effectively off limits. Had a weird post once on 4chan when they were saying when the quote-unquote revolution happened there, that poor people, mostly black, but not always, would basically move into like apartment buildings and take them over. They were shitting in the elevators and stuff like that. So what happened is that they would hire mercenaries to clear out building by building, and then they built skywalks between the buildings so that there was a place where they were actually protected, and so that they wouldn't get killed or something like that. And the taxi driver apparently was like, do not open the window for any purpose. Do not do that. That is a bad idea. And shit like that. It's like, it sounds like, a less organized version of hell, actually. So block by block, they managed to clear out most of Pretoria and make it livable again. And then you have the farm killings. That's been a thing. And by the way, the U.S. government really needs to goddamn address this. The Trump administration is the first administration in our history that has even given it some lip service by saying, hey, white South Africans, they're basically refugees at this point. So they can come into the country if they want, and we'll resettle them on farmland here. Most of them don't want to leave. They want to be, because they're not used to the U.S. culture. I would encourage them to leave. I would encourage them to come to the United States. You're one of the few groups of people in the world uniquely persecuted enough so that you can actually get that green card. Cam 2425 IA, we're supposed to get up to 14 inches of snow today into tomorrow. Goodness. Yeah, we got a dusting earlier. This Chicago storm really didn't affect us. It must have gone off in another direction or something, because we got maybe an inch. It's pretty much all melted off by now. Shung Money, Sticks, come to the hood for a week. Bring that signed copy of Morbid Stories and I'll show you around Long Beach, Compton, San Pedro, Inglewood, etc. Sounds funny. I've been to the hood before. New Orleans, New York City, the Bronx, and so forth. Southern Texas with the Rio Grande. The so-called bad areas of Amsterdam, although there are none. Trust me, you can go to Balmermere. You'll be safe. America needs a reset. Lunch is a good first step. I do believe in food diplomacy. This is about families when they fight, like at Thanksgiving or Christmas or something like that, and they have like political battles and stuff like that. I've always thought it's really, really fun to berate one another. It's just like sports. My team's better than your team, fuck your team. At the end of the day, though, you're just having, a cup of tea and chuckling about the game. You should debate politics, sports, and things like that at the dinner table. I personally do not find this a problem. Some people say, you shouldn't talk about those things. Well, what am I supposed to talk about, dude? What else am I interested in? Hey, how was your day? As I take a cup of tea. Well, my day was all right. Oh, great. Oh, how was your day? Well, it was okay. That's boring as fuck. No, what you should do is antagonize one another at the table. That's the whole point. It's funny. Because if there's an explosive family fight where people wander off because they're so politically or religiously motivated or something, it becomes hilarious. And then everyone else laughs about them. They'll get over it. They'll come back next Thanksgiving, next Christmas, next Easter, whatever the fuck it happens to be, unless they're a complete retard, in which case you probably don't want to be around them in the first place. If people can't take a little bit of basic bitch antagonism, if they're going to be a little bitch and piss themselves because somebody disagreed with them for their political or religious views, I don't want to talk to them at all. I don't give a shit. So if you come to my Thanksgiving table, yeah, I'm going to talk about politics and religion and things like that. I'm going to do it on purpose. It's going to be hilarious to see your reaction. Most people are sane, so they'll pretty much ignore it. They might raise up and debate, but it's just a debate. When they get really hot under the collar, though, that's when it's really funny. I love antagonizing people. It's pretty much my forte. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. But I do agree, once the battle is over, once your hangover is done or whatever, you should just, relax a little bit, have a nice lunch or something. Haha, Primal Wanderwolf, bullshit. I've seen countless families break apart like glass from talking politics or religion. Yeah, but again, if somebody is willing to break away from you simply because you have a difference of opinion, they were never really your family in the first place, now were they? Simple point. Shongma Ace. Wagner likes cock. Ask Sergeant Warwick if he knew the guy. Isn't there a Sergeant Warwick in the Star Wars canon or something like that? Like some stormtrooper that was a sergeant? I don't know. I think I saw something about that. But I do agree, people should get back together after the debate is over, but the debate should be had. The best Thanksgiving you can have. Everyone gets together, friends, family, and so forth. You gorge yourselves, You yell at each other, then you all pass out, and then the next day you have a nice relaxed day. It's fun. It's called amusement. You know, I can disagree with someone without fucking hating them. If not, I would hate pretty much everyone. Dr. Frey the Diamond. Not all South Africa is the best, bro. I'm a white boss OG. I'm from Pretoria. That's where my ex-wife is, I believe, living. And you will love it here. You must check out our Durban voodoo markets. Oh, hell yeah. Alright, I guess I'm getting a ticket to South Africa sometime soon. Yes, apparently my Mexican ex-wife is actually living in Pretoria. Oh boy, wouldn't that be fucking funny if we stumbled upon each other. Talk about 10 YouTube videos in a row. Mr. Bombastic Biggie. Happy belated Thanksgiving. It's evil what happened to those NG soldiers. No family deserves to have an empty chair at Thanksgiving because their child died in duty in the U.S. Pure evil. Agreed. Yes, Oscar Gonzalez, the Mexican blonde wife. Sergeant Warwick, your father. Keck. Yeah, well, there's also a Sergeant Warwick actually in the Star Wars canon. It was in a video game or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, my dad was indeed a sergeant in Vietnam. One of the youngest ever minted, actually. Apparently, he came very close to getting a commemorative rifle because he was such a good shot. Considering the fact that he used a pellet gun to bullseye a rabbit at one point and blew it out of the air. Yeah, you don't want to mess with him. It's good to have a Marine sergeant as a father, by the way. There are fringe benefits, especially when they're also a chef. We've got turkey soup being cooked right now. Gone fishing. Does your demon slave eat turkey and dressing? Well, Stolas is part bird, so I don't think he's into eating turkey. I'm just joking about that one. Yeah, Crowbar the Skull, did he make you do push-ups? No, my dad actually was very doting over the years when I was a child. He still is. I mean, he puts up with my bullshit, so that's more than I can say for some people. And there's plenty of bullshit to go around. So, yeah, no, he's more on the relaxed side. He's a chilled out dude. It's funny. It reminds me of Bob Ross in some sense. Bob Ross was actually a sergeant in the U.S. military. And he got tired of having to yell all the time, so he became a painter, and he always did the quiet voice thing, that happy little trees. You know, I'm gonna draw it down there. Make a couple of branches. Maybe they go off to the side a little bit. Sometimes in nature, you have happy little mistakes, and they look so good. And stuff like that, you know? Bob Ross. Don't fuck with Bob Ross, by the way. Everyone loves him. There's not a single person in the world that doesn't. Divray the Diamond. Haha, you were married to a Mexican? Spicy. Yeah, very spicy. There was one time she dumped Tabasco sauce into my food. This was before I liked spicy food. And was really, really royally pissed off when I didn't eat it. Because I was like, I don't want this spicy. Not this particular dish. Now I can take the one chip challenge, and I mean, it might make my mouth bleed, but you know. But she was really, really upset about that, actually, and you know, I probably should have just eaten it. You know, whatever. Yeah, we should all watch Bob Ross together. Maybe I should queue that up. Most of it's copyright free at this point. Queue up some Joy of Painting, and we can have a Bob Ross episode. That'd be funny. Shung Manis, Semper Fidelis to Sergeant Warwick. New occult videos on linguistics. The Seraphite whistle language based off Silbo Gamero. Never heard of Silbo Gamero. Who's that? My niece is downstairs, so if you hear some some noise in the background, she's hanging out with my mother. Yes, but we've got exciting news to talk about. This is not political. Scientists find evidence that an asteroid contains tryptophan. Tryptophan is the chemical that is largely relegated to turkeys, which is ironic in this particular condition, and supposedly makes people sleepy, although it really doesn't. It's more of a food coma. Tryptophan itself, unless it was highly concentrated, is not going to make you sleepy. But they found it on an asteroid. This should not be physically possible according to the modern logic behind the existence of literally everything, because there shouldn't be organic materials on an asteroid. There are no geological processes there, seismic or otherwise, to dissolve mineral material to potentially create amino acids. There's no human interference, we know that, so it had to be organic. It had to be there to begin with. It was sitting on an asteroid. We're not sure exactly what methodology is behind the creation of even basic organic compounds on something like an asteroid. It doesn't really make any sense. No seismicity. There's no volcanic activity, certainly. There's no running water or anything like that, so there shouldn't be actually any biological methodology by which it would be created. But it was created anyway. Unless it's the result of contamination, which is unlikely given laboratory constructs. Unless it was, especially with tryptophan, because, I mean, I can understand if you find glutamate or something like that on an asteroid, okay, maybe the scientist didn't wear his gloves. Tryptophan, that would be a little bit different. And by the way, this sample was not taken actually around Thanksgiving. It actually dates back several years. But they finally tested it, and they said, yeah, there might be tryptophan on asteroids. Yeah, turkey amino acids are on asteroids somehow. It's not a surprise, though. I've long suggested this. I believe that life is much more complex and much more widespread than previously believed. Xiong Mares. Silbo Gomero is a whistle language developed by the Spanish to talk across mountains. Making a cult video on it. We need more of those. Tell Pam I said she's an angel. Oh, thank you. I'll have to look that up. Silbo Gomero. Sounds fascinating. Huh. Yeah, I never knew that existed. Thank you for that one. And yes, my mom can be an angel or a fallen angel, depending on whether you've pissed her off or not. Trust me, or my dad. I've got so many funny stories about my mom. So yeah, they found, possibly, they found tryptophan on an asteroid. It should not be there. It should not exist on an asteroid. It's been hurtling through space for probably hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of years, and it has amino acids on it. Well, those degrade over time, so there might be something else going on there. It could point to the possibility of bacterial life, actually, on the asteroid. But it's going to take us a while before we have the acumen to actually grab one of these asteroids and test it more fully. The problem is that if you bring it back and it does have life forms on it, you might contaminate the Earth and kill everything. So we've got to be a little bit more careful. This is why aliens are not visiting our general region of the solar system. They're not interested in getting infected with diseases. That's basically the only reason. Our world is surrounded by an oxidizing death shroud of allergens, pollen, bacteria, viruses, parasites, all sorts of things. Nobody in their right mind anywhere else in the universe is going to want to come to our planet. Probably a bad idea. Sorry, I killed my whole homeworld. Everyone died, but we did science and shit. So yeah, I'm probably going to hold that story over and talk about it in more detail tomorrow because, a non-political story, it's of high interest to me. This cannot be underestimated with regards to its importance. They found amino acids on a fucking asteroid. That is extremely significant scientific news. Swamp Donkey. Civil War response. At this point is inevitable. The US will go the route of either Yugoslavia or get another Caesar. It's part of every civilization walkthrough, hopefully not during our time. No, we've got a lot longer to wait before that sort of thing happens. Things are not at an inflection point yet. Shang Marais. Pam is one of the greatest humans in existence. She helped make you and save lives. Drop a vice, pick up a skill. On the Three Guys. True. Yes, my mother is a wonderful person, absolutely. Not just because she made me, she's just a good person in general. Cooks a mean casserole, that's what I'm talking about. I couldn't find the leftover bread the other day, though. And she was at work, so I couldn't ask her where it was. So I'm going to have to figure it out, I suppose. Because I was going to make cold turkey sandwiches. You just use the leftover bread, slap some cold turkey on it, and then slather it in ketchup. I'm a hillbilly kid. Sue me. But unfortunately, the turkey was all accounted for because Dad wanted to use it in his soup. I'm not complaining about the soup. I'm just wishing maybe next time I can have enough for one sandwich, because I really miss turkey sandwiches. Cold turkey sandwich. Man. King of Biltong. Hey, Anton's here again. Premium Biltong from Biltong USA. High protein, keto friendly, no additives, US source beef, authentic South African flavor. Yeah, so you should definitely support him. Get some now at www.biltongusa.com. Use code STICKS for 10% off. Yeah. Yeah, this one's pretty much empty. Damn it. Shit. The one with the 5 spices in it is empty now. Yeah, fuck you. Well, I guess I'll have to dip into the next one. I'm going to mix it with the 5 spices again because for some reason, it just really works with the flavor. Like, it's really, really good. Ask me to be mature, you will lose. Oregon father... Oh, this is the last one that I needed to cover. Oregon father outraged after discovering 11-year-old son was slated to take survey about sexual orientation. Chuck Gonzalez... Yeah, it's funny. These people, the Hispanics are the ones that are being based and raising up. Chuck Gonzalez says his son had no idea what survey questions meant, but knew they were weird and sick. I've tried to tell people, don't worry about the youth. They'll get it. They understand rebellion. If anything, they're probably going to end up far right or something. We're going to end up with people that are goose-stepping through the streets or something. Don't worry about the youth. They'll get it. They can handle it. People get old. They always think that the next generation is different from their own generation. They don't even remember their own rebellion and stuff. I was stealing shit, burning shit up, sabotage, all sorts of fucking shit. I don't know how much damage I did, but it was significant. Just leave it to the youth. They'll figure it out. They'll be fine. Shung Manes. All social medias except Twitter. Everyone go and listen to my Rumble exclusive pop song, Richer, featuring Liz Through. The Unholy Trinity is the channel on the 3 guys. Is that like your girlfriend or something? She cute. But, with regards to this, it was hysterical. Watch the video of this kid and his reaction to the weird-ass, unnecessary gender paperwork. He crumples it up and he decides to eat it, actually, and his father's laughing his ass off. Not a surprise to me. It looks like a good family to me. I wish they were living next door. I'd be their friends. I might have gotten it through an email, but it was a survey that is asking our children grades 6th, 8th, and 11th grade, issued by the Oregon Health Authority. Yes, so this is actually state issued. Believe it or not, Gonzalez said. And the survey, it asks a lot of really confusing things to sixth graders. One of those it discusses and asks about their gender and sexual identity. So when I heard about this, I went to the website, downloaded the PDF form, and sure enough, it was right there. The 2024 Student Health Survey asked questions such as, what is your gender identity? With the multiple choice answers being girl or woman, boy or man, demigirl, demi-boy, non-binary, gender fluid, genderqueer, questioning, and agender or no gender. Yeah, you're instructing students. Why are you giving them this survey in the first place? What's the point? The hell is it teaching them? Yeah, fucking burn that shit. Roll it up and smoke it. Teach your kids to roll and smoke these papers as joints. They'll be a lot happier in life. A demigirl or demi-boy, according to gender terminology, is bullshit. Is defined as someone who partially identifies as a girl or woman, and a demi-boy is someone who partially identifies as a boy or man. The demi prefix is meant to communicate the belief that gender is partial, not whole. The other part of their gender identity can be anything, including another gender, genderless, or gender fluid. Yeah, well, I mean, you can also identify as an animal. It makes absolutely no sense that our tax money is going towards this. Why was this questionnaire even fucking issued in the first place? You don't need to know the kid's gender. They're male or female. They've got a Y chromosome or they do not have a Y chromosome. That takes care of gender. Sex is a little bit different because some people are hermaphrodites, but it's generally 99.9% of the time it's totally overlapped. What the fuck are you talking about? What's the point of even killing the trees to print the paper to make a questionnaire like this? I thought you leftoids liked environmentalism. Meanwhile, several trees died in order for you to ask kids what their gender was. Retarded. Completely fucking retarded, dude. Goodbye, Anton, by the way. I will eat more biltong in your memory. Swamp Donkey. The youth I have met, the Generation Zyklon meme is very true. For the young men at least, the girls, though, are very leftist, which emboldens my view not everyone should vote, especially women. I do believe in women having equal rights, and I will not pretend otherwise. I know that it's fashionable or whatever. That's perfectly fine. But I will admit men need to protect their women and their children. We need to do that because apparently there are lunatics running the asylum at the moment, and there are things that we need to do. I will say nothing more. Shung Maris, though, is my friend. Everyone go check her out. The girl with the old English shirt is one of my girls. She's from Russia. She's helping me learn the language. That's hot. So yeah, Oregon is now asking kids, hey, are you trans and shit like that. What lesson is actually being taught by this would be my question. If it's taxpayer funded, it's school funded, what lesson is being taught? What is the child learning? Nothing? They're learning about how to be confused, basically. Don't give a shit if somebody considers themselves non-binary or trans elf or something like that. That's perfectly fine. Do the schools really need to teach that? I have a feeling that those same leftists would have a real big problem if schools were trying to teach kids that they should be straight. If they were trying to teach that gender identity and saying, well, Billy, you're a male, you've got a penis. Sally, you've got a vagina, you're female. And they were trying to teach them traditionalistic gender roles and sexual roles, this would never be accepted. It'd be considered perverted. You're teaching kids about all sorts of crazy shit and trying to coerce them into a certain identity. But if you teach them, well, Sally, you're kind of a tomboy, so that basically makes you a boy. Billy, you were wearing pink the other day. That basically makes you a girl. That's apparently currently perfectly fine. I don't understand the differentiation between coercion and coercion. They appear to be the same thing to me. But the schools, of course, they're going to use my taxpayer money to try to force this shit down people's throats. Thankfully, I believe in the children. They're going to rebel. When they get coerced like this is exactly what you have. Fuck this piece of paper. I'm just going to eat it and stuff like that. That's what you're going to get from the kids. Don't worry about the kids. They'll be fine. It's the adults that you have to worry about. Shung Marais Sticks make a video on the 90th Congress in 1967 or something like that. They proved that the 14th Amendment was never ratified. The thing is that with settled case law, it's very, very difficult to overturn it, even if it was not technically properly ratified. For instance, again, like the income tax, shouldn't exist. It was never properly ratified, but it still exists. And you still have to abide by it, otherwise you're going to get shot or something like that. It's very, it sucks. Alamandorius, late Thanksgiving gift to you, Sticks. So, I decided to tune into this before watching your Uniparty Gambit video. You're aware of the billboards going up across your country, yeah? Website titled, Not What I Signed Up For. Yes, I am displeased with some of the political happenings that are currently happening. Generally, support the administration, although there are mistakes being made. And then you've got this fucking treason party, basically, at this point, of Democrats that are insinuating that military members should take a shot. And they can't possibly expect that anyone with beyond room temperature IQ is unintelligent enough to know that that's exactly what they're doing. It is exactly what they're doing. Fucking morons. Swamp Donkey. We should grant the purple-haired women their wish. Absolve them of whiteness and denaturalize and deport them to India, to the Congo, and CAR. Let them enjoy their people of color civilization. Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to leave, I keep getting told by liberals over and over they want to leave the United States because Donald Trump won. Go! Nobody's gonna miss you. Please, please go. If it's only a few 100,000 of you, it would still be a better world. At least for us. Not for you. You'll get physically abused and probably raped. But, you know, you made that choice yourself, so. You may have noticed I have stopped giving a shit. Doc Holliday. Mark Kelly looks like Sloth from the Goonies. No, Sloth looks better. I watched the Goonies last night, actually. Every time I see him speak, I expect his ears to move. That 1X account. Aw, you're not calling me, baby. How sad. I feel so insulted. I think we had... Well, we have the Slotkin video, but that's really just tied in with the treason Democrats. It really means nothing at this point, though, because other than Mark Kelly, none of them are really getting any traction at all. You'll notice this. Mark Kelly is on the news every day, right? Have you heard anything from any of the other people? Slotkin, I suppose, kind of, but other than that, have you heard anything from any of the others? When they did their supercut there, encouraging U.S. troops to simply abandon ship and stop following orders? Which is the insinuation. The insinuation is the ICE raids are unconstitutional, therefore you shouldn't participate. This is fundamentally incorrect on a number of legal levels and on a number of regulatory levels. It is completely lawful to take someone who is in your country legally and put them outside of your country. We're pretty much the only country in the world not doing that at the moment, actually. You wander into any other country other than maybe the most decadent parts of Western Europe, and you're not legally there and you don't have paperwork and shit, you're going to get forced back into your home country or you're going to get detained. The United States has been the most generous, and I don't really mind this, towards immigrants in the entire world. but you have to file the fucking paperwork. If your first act in the country is to be there illegally, that's not a good look, is it? It kind of makes sense, I suppose. At least I thought it made sense. Apparently politicians disagree with me. Shung Manes, Sticks, Charles Manson videos, part 1 and 2 are top 5 Sticks videos. In other words, the Tex Watson murders. Yeah, I can speak about that at more length. That effectively is what they boil down to. Charles Manson probably killed one person, but he wasn't even charged for that particular killing. I do not believe that he was a cult leader. Some people think that I'm insane for believing this, but I've looked into the case enough. I agree with that basic stance. Tex Watson, meanwhile, he kills a bunch of people. In jail, what's the first thing he does? Become a prison reverend. Yeah, showing the good grace of religion. Hey Sen says, hi. Well, hello to you too. Very interesting story, by the way. I've made multiple videos. Yeah, maybe I want to watch the Goonies again later over some turkey soup. Alamandorius, Canada is right there with yours, buddy. When it comes to not deporting people, our problem started in 2015 and is ongoing. Yeah, it's become a huge problem for this entire fucking continent, actually. And there's no real solution because the Canadian government's retarded. And the US government, while I believe that Trump is trying to do his best, look at the House. Look at the House Republicans. Are they not a bunch of mental retards? I'm going to get you in the mental institute, as I always say. Mike Johnson doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He never appears in public for the most part because he knows that he's an embarrassment. And the Senate, that's just a hot mess too. So there's very limited amounts to what Trump can do. Tarred and feathered. Charlie didn't kill anyone. He only ate the bodies. By the way, that reminds me, actually, later on, I'm going to be writing Charles Manson Part 2 for Morbid Stories. I'm making the second volume of Morbid Stories, everyone, and I'm having great fun doing so, by the way. Trust me. I made the first one, I improved it, I changed its format, and I made it like the way that I make books now. Because the first one, it was deficient in my mind. I wanted to change it up. So I expanded it slightly, and then I made the format better. So now I've decided to make Volume 2. This is going to be the second edition of Morbid Stories. Well, not edition, volume. The first one's on its third edition, actually. This one's going to have entirely new stories, be about the same length, same trim, same format, everything else. And I'm adding a bunch more morbid haikus as well. Some of these stories are going to twist your stomach in knots, my dude. I'm good at writing bizarre literature. I have so much fun when I'm just laying there, you know, in the bed with the computer in front of me. And I can write whatever I want. I can express myself any way that I want. It's a fun time, let me tell you. Shung Manes, The Unholy Trinity, Focus, feature Junginyi on all platforms. Air Force One's on my feet like I'm POTUS. Yeah, I've still got that open along with the Sybil Gamero thing, which I had never heard of before. I got the Trump updates and stuff. I'll listen to that. I'll listen to that song later. Sounds fun. Yeah. Let's see. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go offline. It's Friday, so I've got turkey soup on the pot. Well, my dad's the one cooking it, but I'm gonna be mainly the one eating it. I guarantee there will be more than one bowl that is eaten tonight. I have a feeling it will not last until tomorrow. I will be back on Monday with more live streaming activity, but of course, Saturday and Sunday, I'll do my normal videos. I do have a bunch of stuff already docketed. Hello, Occult Priestess. Clank. I would love to. Yeah, there's plenty of news to cover. The problem is I can't get to it all. We had we had this story. It's an archaeological story. Wisconsin divers reveal mysterious underwater parking lot of ancient canoes preserved for millennia. And of course, when wooden remains go down low enough, they tend not to rot away at all. They're fully recoverable, actually. It's actually a good preservation method. Trump and Venezuelan land action. I was going to get to that. I did in one of my morning videos. I think it's a terrible idea. We'll see what Trump does, though, because it's not entirely clear exactly what he's going to do with it. So we've got to wait and see. I hate doing the wait and see thing. It makes you feel vague. It's like, oh, everything's up in the air. Today's update. I don't know what the fuck is going on. That's how it feels sometimes. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do with that, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. And then, of course, we've got the the Somalian connections to the Afghan migrant that decided to open fire at the White House, among other things. So I've got some things docketed here. I'm going to look up the Silbo Gomero, a whistle language from La Gomera in the Canary Islands that imitates Spanish, which sounds fascinating. I've never heard of that before. So thank you very much to Xiong Maris. Happy belated birthday to my mother, Helena. Happy birthday, Helena. We celebrate it. Now, make her some nice food. Don't be an unkind son or daughter. I'm not actually sure what your gender is. Don't be unkind. Give her some good food. So yeah, we're going to be looking that up, I suppose. The Gomeran whistle. This is fascinating. Thank you very much for that. Anyways, I'm going to go offline. I'm going to try to get a couple more news stories, but I don't really need much because there's so much. I'm really not going to be able to post it all anyway. So, yeah. Good stream, my friends. And much more people tuned in than I expected for a Black Friday. I mean, I expected most people would be out shopping. Good on you. Don't go shopping. Fucking hate materialism. That's about all. Peace out.